As turtles, we can go wherever we want, but don't stop running. Do you know what the most messed up thing in life is? A netizen said that at 24, he had just found a decent job and thought he was awesome. Suddenly, he heard that a classmate from a wealthy family had succeeded in entrepreneurship, receiving a 20 million investment, and he instantly felt like a complete idiot. This society is so damn unfair. What I have been striving for is just his starting point. He didn't even want to go to work and wished he could go back to his hometown and live a carefree life. Self-pity is the stupidest and most uncool thing in the world. What you have been striving for is just the starting point for others. Then you reach the limit and say, do you think that even if you work hard, you can't surpass someone with assets? Then you should surpass the majority of those who are not from wealthy families before you say that. You have already lost at the starting line, so you have to work even harder. It's precisely because we don't have a dad to rely on that we have to work our hardest. I recall a girl I met a few years ago who had a full-time job and wrote articles in her spare time. That was about 6 years ago, and she could earn over $2 million a year just by writing articles. I was shocked when I heard this figure. After that, I felt a widespread sense of jealousy. Why her? Her articles are just average. Why are they worth so much money? Until one day when I heard how she managed to continuously update 5,000, 10,000 words of online literature every day, I shut up. Even when she was hospitalized, she would write articles while receiving intravenous drips in the hospital bed. She mastered the skill of writing in a taxi. One time, she went on a business trip to Japan, worked until late at night before returning to the hotel. In the early hours of the morning at 3 o'clock, her roommate found her missing. After going out to look for her, she found her squatting in the hotel corridor, typing away, because she was afraid of disturbing her roommate's sleep. She wrote until 5 o'clock in the morning in the corridor. Her diligence is astounding. By chance, I learned that her family is wealthy, owning a chain of supermarkets. I was shocked once again. Even doing such dirty and tiring work as writing articles. I asked her why she worked so hard when her family was quite wealthy. She said, I hate it when you ask me this. What does my family's wealth have to do with me? Off. I couldn't respond to that. For me, the most inspiring part of her story is that every time I wanted to be lazy and stay in bed, not wanting to write, I would think of her squatting in the hotel corridor typing away, and I would get up quietly and open my computer. As a poor person, can't I work hard a little bit? I also knew a young man who went to study abroad after graduating from junior high school. Since he's going to study in a foreign country, he should have something to live in. So, his parents bought him a large villa in the local area. Originally, they were eyeing one that cost over 100 million. It was a bit expensive. His father held the hands of him and his mother tightly and apologized to them sincerely. Dad is sorry. We can't afford this one. I will work even harder in the future to make it affordable for you to live in such a house. So they reluctantly bought one for over 20 million. To such a family, even if the young man does nothing every day, he could live a luxurious life of extravagance and gluttony for the rest of his life. But he didn't. He attended a prestigious school where everyone was a top student. He studied until midnight every day and got up at 6 in the morning the next day. His favorite computer game he hadn't played for 2 years. He couldn't resist and played for half an hour a few days ago. For this, he punished himself by reducing his sleep by 1 hour every day for a week, making up for the time lost by studying. This makes us, who spend at least half an hour on Instagram and TikTok before going to bed and after waking up, feel ashamed. So, why do they work so hard? When I was working for a newspaper, I interviewed a child from a wealthy family who started a company at the age of 26, and everyone thought he was awesome and cool. In fact, he was just like all of the struggling entrepreneurs, renting a small house as his office. He saved time. He lived in the office most of the time, sleeping on the sofa at night and waking up to work the next day. He said, "My starting point is high, but the higher I stand, the harder I fall." What saddened him the most was that if ordinary people failed, it might be just a few people around them mocking them. But if he failed, there would be a whole street mocking him. The troubles of the rich, who doesn't love them, even the neighbor's dog, would be happy for days. Some people make money for a simpler reason, being poor. We think they are rich, but in their circle, it's not necessarily the case. Just like the rich people in our eyes, in the eyes of even richer people, they are still. Since we are poor, we must strive hard. If they are born as rabbits, we are born as turtles. Even if we can never catch up with the rabbits, no matter how hard we try, we can still be the fastest turtle. Besides, we don't need to set our sights on surpassing the rabbits. As turtles, we can go wherever we want, but don't stop running. Anyway, it's better than being a shrinking turtle. There's a saying, "I really lies up 3 times. The first time is when they realize they are not the center of the world. The second time is when they realize that no matter how hard they try, there are still things that are beyond their control. The third time is when, knowing that some things may be beyond their control, they still try their best to fight for it."